Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arabella, and I will be presenting my proposal that I had planned on doing as my senior capstone project. So, overview of me. My name is Arabella Grace Lamello. I am currently a senior as I spent my first 2 years in UH Moy College and then eventually transferred to UH West Oahu for my last 2 years. Beforehand, I graduated in Lanai High Elementary School in 2021 as I am currently a student in UH West Oahu taking Academy of Creative Media or ACM as my concentration in it is general creative media. So what I'll be explaining through my presentation would be the plans for senior capstone project, stating my thesis statement, objective rationale of the research conduct that I have conducted, and addressing the significance of my proposed project or practicum with my research. So my thesis statements goes along the lines of Filipino representation in America is rarely discussed, especially in the entertainment and animation industry. It was to a point where during the 2018 Emmy Awards, one of the co-hosts, Michael Che Campo, cracked a joke regarding the lack of Filipino representation, as he stated, TV has always had a diversity problem. I mean, can you believe they did 15 seasons of ER without one Filipino nurse? Have you been to a hospital? So, despite the fact of Filipino representation, it does not mean they are out of the spotlight nor invisible to the public, but rather could be seen in ways where it can be seen through behind the scenes, where the creative process takes place. So, my objective or rationale for the research conducted, since my topic revolves around Filipino representation in Western media, specifically in animation. The research I have conducted was to learn briefly about the history of Filipino Americans, how they were depicted when they were first stepping into America, from then to now, where they are being recognized through Western films and animation films and on screen and behind the scenes. In addition, in terms of character design, I also research about the process of creating stories and characters that have representation, which lead me to learn and not only me to learn and understand, but also the importance of creating memorable and fleshed out characters, and also characters that have a voice in the story. So my senior capstone plans would be to implement research that I've done regarding Filipino representation and character design to create characters that not only have Filipino representation, but include context consisting of their personalities and their background story. Due to the research of representation in the Western media in animations, it is appropriate to be applied towards this project as it revolves around gaining a perspective on knowledge of cultures and traditions through character of representation, as well as clearing out assumptions or stereotypes around Filipinos. So, significance. The first significance would be representation is more than just identity. So for my research, when it comes to representation in the media, it is usually decided by representing someone or a group of people who do not appear as often, either on screen or behind the scenes. The reason for the idea of representation is that it would lead to higher ratings and more viewership for shows or casts that are more diverse. For viewers or audience, on the other hand, representation is a way of clearing out stereotypes and assumptions of a certain race or group that leads to acceptance and audiences having a deeper meaning and understanding from the use of inclusive content. So by characters that show representation and also a background story that presents its characteristics and personality, it gives audiences a sense of connection towards these characters and also clearing out stereotypes and assumptions of a race and their ethnicity. So the second one would be recognizing appreciation of Filipino cultures and traditions. Though underrepresented and have been recently gaining some attention on and behind the scenes, there have been episodes or shows, as seen from the slide, that present Filipino foods, phrases, and mannerisms that present what and how Filipinos grew up with. By continuing to present Filipino culture and traditions, it not only brings honor and exposure to Filipinos, but brings people closer and to acknowledge and appreciate their culture, traditions through various commodities and practices. So the reasoning of the importance of the significance that I have explained previously would be that though there is progress of representation, there continues to be a long way to go as there's still unequal representation in AAPI in general, both on screen and behind the scenes. So through these couple of slides, I'll be presenting it shows the data and charts that were studied by USC Annenberg as it shows the percentage and amount of API representation showed. So from the left, it shows that 5.9% of API characters are shown overall between 2007 to 2019, as there were 44 API lead and co-lead depicted in films within that year. And to break it down from that is 29 were Asian and 21 were Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander lead or co-lead. On the right side, it shows the representation, view representation going on behind the scenes also, as there are a total of 2.9% of creators behind the scenes in films are API creatives. Out of 1,447 directors between 2007 to 2019, 50 were API. And to break it down a bit, out of the 50, there were 3 API directors that were women. If we're going specifically on representation, there has been a scene in unequal representation in different regions. The highest would be 65.4% with East Asians, 13.3% for actors who are Southeast Asian, and since Filipinos kind of are categorized under Southeast Asian, there were 6.1% Filipinos represented on screen. So for this slide is showing the study that is done in 2018 and 2019. So moving on to target audience, there are 3 that I planned on targeting towards. The first one is Filipinos and Filipino Americans, students with an interest in the creation of process of character design, and young adults and adults who are interested in Filipino cultures and traditions. For my proposed solution is to create characters that not only have representation, personality, background story, but also have something that people could connect or relate to. Since the situation revolved around not a lot of representation and an unequal amount of representation, I think through characters that people can gain curiosity to look at and learn more about, it could be solved through learning the process of character design, the importance and overall purpose of its identity and creation, to be educated and appreciate cultures and backgrounds through various characters, and to give a sense of importance and acknowledgement of representation through recognition, word of mouth, and storytelling. So for my preparation process, the prep would be further research on character design, doing drafts and jotting ideas, planning, scheduling out what to do first for the project, listing out materials needed. For production would be breaking the project down into smaller tasks of creating drafts of characters, their story background, personality, and many more, and eventually assembling them when finished, polishing them. And for the post, it would be polished work that is done in Procreate as it will be exported as a digital format. Illustrations of the character designs would be formatted as JPEG and could be presented either as a PDF or a slideshow. As for my deliverable or outcome for this presentation would be doing my work digitally of what the process is like creating characters, what my characters would look like through different angles, what would they have within their design and go in depth with the details that they have, what is their personality and present what would they look like side by side through interactions or in a particular setting. And that is it for my presentation. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening.